Okay, so good morning. This is my BMW F30 and I have got an inflatable bolster that keeps deflating. I haven't seen any videos online talking about this, so I thought I'd do one. Now I've taken the back panel off the seat, which is as simple as popping two clips out at the bottom. The panel drops down and will come out. Inside the back of the seat, in here we've got a relay module, which is clipped over on this side, and then inside this vinyl pocket, which lives over here, is the air pump. So the air pump pumps through into this valve, or this relay valve, when you're inflating the bolster, but when you release the pressure, all the valve does is just open. The pump doesn't work at all, so it's not pulling the air back out. So it only pumps to inflate, and then the valve releases the air to deflate the bladder that's inside the seat here. Now if you look at this one on this side, you can see the two black clips, one there and one just tucked through there. In order to take the bladder out, you have to remove this intermediate spring. So use a good pry tool to stretch it away and then unhook it from here. Then you can pop the two black clips out. Okay, that will release the inflatable bladder, and you can actually just slide it straight out. Now I've got the bladder out on mine, and here it is. So you can see the two black clips there that hold it in, and the metal connector that connects to the tube. Now I've checked all of the tubes here, and all of these tubes are okay. All of these connections on the relay are okay. There's no leak there, and there's no leak on the pump. Those would be the first things to check when you're doing this. And what we're going to do now is take this inside, put some air into it, put it under some water, and see if we can find a leak. So we've got some water in our sink. I'm going to pop the bladder in there and try and do this while holding the phone to record, and we'll see if we can see a leak anywhere. There we go. So clearly we've got a leak just there where that metal piece goes into the bladder, but I'll have to look under that. Look at that a little more closely just to see if I can see anywhere that's split. So I'll get some shots of that when I find it, and we're sort of going to do to put it right. Okay, so what have we found? Well, what I found was, looking under some magnification, that this area just here was where the air was leaking from. So it's almost like this part of the bag wasn't sealed around this brass ferrule. So what I've done is cleaned that area with some alcohol, just to make sure there's no moisture or anything around it, and I've used this stuff, which is a UV curing glue. So I poured some around this area here, from here right the way across, and made sure it's gone into that gap where the air was leaking from, and that seems to have cured it. Don't know how long it will last, but for now it's sealed, and I think it should be a fairly permanent repair. So now it's time to get this back in the car and see how good I did. Okay, so here we are back in the car with hopefully a repaired bolster bladder. Now, somebody in one of the forums that's had this problem talked about taking this out and removing the clips, but what they also said was, when you put the bag back in, use some cotton gloves. I thought that sounds a bit strange, but apparently you use the cotton gloves so that when you slide this in and slide your fingers out and pull the bag with it, which I thought was a great idea. So now I noticed that when this one came out, it was folded over like this, and I don't think it should be like that. So you can see where it's folded over. I think it should go in completely flat. So it's possible somebody's had a look at this before, I don't know. But what I'm going to do is try and slide it back in and keep my fingers over it so it stays nice and flat. Hopefully it should work better. Right, so let's give this a go. Now the area where it goes is quite tight, it's down here, but I should be able to move the bolster away a little bit to get it in there and make sure it's nice and flat. So let's give that a go. And fold it in and push down on that bit that's folded back. And then our clips locate just here. So that's one clip in and the other clip in. I'm just going to run my fingers down to make sure that bag is fully unfolded. And there we go. So that's our bag back in. So now all I've got to do is just reconnect this tube to the relay or the valve over here, and then put it all back together. So I'll try and give you a bit more of a close-up on that so you can see a bit better. Hopefully you can see where the airbag is located and the two clips are back in. We've got our motor here, which has got to fold back into here when we're done. But I'm just going to route this tube back to where it was. And that's out of the way. And then you'll notice that there's a sticker on this tube, and I think that sticker serves two purposes. It probably helps to stop the pipe from rubbing away too much on that wire. So we'll get that located in the clip just there, and then back over, pop that valve out and clip that back in over there. Now there's an O-ring in there, but I did check these earlier. Get O-ring seals on this tube, and that was working absolutely fine. Try and adjust the brightness, here we go. Those O-rings in there are absolutely fine. Let's get this clipped in and get it buttoned up. Okay, so we've got our pipe clipped back on. Now this relay module or valve module clips onto, there's a clip at the bottom that clips over the frame here, and then there's a clip on the side here that clips onto this upright metal bar. So I'm going to drop those in. Clip that up. It is a bit fiddly, but it does go back in. There we go. That's all clipped back in place, and our pump locates itself back here. But first thing I've got to do, there's a spring that I took off earlier that clips around here, and I need to clip that back on. So I'm using a panel device, or a panel clip lifting tool, to get that back in, and it's very, very stiff. Yeah. Be careful to keep your fingers well away from the end of this spring, because if that decides it's going to go on you, and it takes your finger with it, it's going to be messy. So just keep your fingers well clear of that spring. There we go, that's back on. So now the pump goes back in, and our rear seat cover goes in the reverse the way it came out, so it pushes in lower down and then simply slides up. There are two big clips on this side and two big clips at the top, and they just slide up, and then these push in the bottom. Just take the glove off. These clips push in the bottom on either side, and they're just like plastic rivets. Push them in, push the centre section in, okay, That doesn't feel like it's gone in right. No, that's not locating right, that one on the left hand side. Make sure the main part of the rivet is locating in the hole it's supposed to be in, which is really tricky to find. Now this one, when I took this panel off, was loose, and that made me think that somebody had a go at this before. But here we are, back up, and let's have a look and see how it's working. Here we are back in the car. Now what I found earlier was that when inflating the bolster on the left, you could clearly see it deflating. So let's see if we've got, so the pump's running, see the bolster inflating.
Screen off.
There we go, and that is staying in place. I think that's a fix. The one on the left hand side of the seat was pretty good, or the right as you look at here, but this one was the one that was deflating, and you could clearly see it even without sitting in the seat. Inflate it, let go of the button, as soon as you let go of the button it will start deflating, but that's holding nicely now. So I put that down as a fix. Just deflating them now. Yeah, she's good. Well, that's it. So that's how to fix one of the elements that can go wrong with these inflatable bolster pads, or the bladders inside this inflatable bolster. I hope that helps anybody who's got the same problem. Hey, good people out there in YouTube land. Just wanted to do another little follow-up on the airbag or seat bolster airbag repair on my BMW F30, and I've now been using the car for a week, and the bolster is staying inflated as it should do, which is fantastic. Really delighted with the fix. So hopefully, if you've got the same problem with yours, and you find that that's what the issue is, then you've got the repair. I'll try and put a link to the glue that I use, the UV glue, in the description below. But I'm just going to go into the car now and just show you the airbag doing its thing. That stayed fully inflated, and we turn the heater off. Let's turn that vent off. There we go. So that's quiet. Okay. So that stayed nice and fully inflated. That's been like that since I did the repair. You can see it. Hopefully you can see that deflating. That's deflating now. Now that would happen instantly. I inflated it before I did the repair, and that's now pumping up. And that stays exactly how it should, which is fantastic. I'm really delighted with that repair. What I am going to do, this bolster is getting a bit scruffy now. I'm going to try and effect a repair on that. We'll record it and we'll see how that works. I'm probably going to use, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use yet. I'm going to have to do a bit of research on that. It is getting a bit scruffy and gets a bit warm, but of course these do wear as you get in and out of the car. The leather itself is still in reasonably good condition. But I'm going to try and touch this up, get that looking black again, and see if I can put something on there to protect it, to stop it from looking like this again. But it's just one of those things, they do wear as you get in and out of the car. This car's done nearly 100,000 miles now, so it's bound to show some wear and tear on here, but I'll see if I can tidy that up so it looks a bit better. And if what I find works, then I'll show you how I did it, show you what I did. Until next time, please like the video. I would be enormously grateful if you'd like the video. Subscribe if you want to. Click the bell icon for any further uploads. I'm new to this kind of thing. This channel's new, so I'm just trying to build up some likes, build up some subscribers, and I'll try and take you on any other journeys that or fixes that I do with or things that I change on my BMW F30 335D. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks guys.